I was on a coaching call this week. I have a coach too, several actually, all based on the particular area where I need a little help. But I was talking with my group about a situation I've been seeing online within our homeschooling community. I shared a story that I learned from my dad. And with this being Father's Day weekend, I want you to know about it. You can use the lesson too. And I love that even though my dad has been gone for nearly 30 years, his having walked on this earth may still be helping people. So stay with me, and I'll share what made me even think of this. I'm Sue Patterson, and this is the Unschooling Mom2Mom podcast. Each week, I come in to give a little pep talk to help you feel more confident about unschooling. This is an extra podcast for the week because a topic came up that I thought we should talk about. So I was talking on my group coaching call about these parents. It seems we've all been seeing parents, usually moms, referring to themselves as unschoolers or unschooling homeschoolers. And then they go on to describe what their day looks like. They all get up early to me, 7:30 or 8 o'clock. They describe these very cheery mornings. They often have little morning baskets laid out for their kids to dive into while they're fixing a big breakfast. Then after they do that, they all do a few little chores, make their beds, brush their teeth, feed their dogs, and then they dive into their day. And here's where it gets dicey to me. They pull out some reading or math workbooks and everyone does their pages. Maybe they switch over to another lesson before all going outside to a park or on a bike ride. Then back to lunch and a couple more lessons before the kids are cut loose. So my question is, why are they calling this unschooling? It's been really confusing to a lot of people. This is what traditional homeschoolers try to do, not unschoolers. Unschoolers don't divide life up into subjects or lessons. Unschoolers don't have a teacher-driven approach for guiding the kids through all the new materials. Unschoolers probably aren't all waking up at the same time. If this is working for you, fine. But this example is often making other moms feel like they're not doing enough or doing it right. And that's who I'm talking to today. If you've seen these Instagram worthy reels or photos of cooperative kids and you're looking over at your own kids, and let's just say it doesn't look like that. And instead of thinking to each his own, you think, I'm lousy at this. I'm not organized enough or creative enough or smart enough. Or you push over to blaming your kids. They're not motivated enough. They're lazy. They only want to be on their tablets or whatever is their preference. I want to jump in and wave my hands and say, stop. First of all, Instagram and Pinterest seldom share the truth. Not that it's an actual lie, but the staging and setup required to get that shot, well, it probably didn't happen organically. So don't compare yourself to an illusion. Truly, the reality is that houses are messes. We're all living in them. Things get spilled, shoes are kicked off, projects are left half done, dishes are in the sink or all over the house. And I know someone is going to come on here and say, not in my house. You're not describing us at all. Well, don't compare yourself to that person. They clearly have different priorities. As unschoolers, your priorities are connection, diving into curiosities, helping the kids learn about themselves. And yes, learning to pick up after yourself is a good life skill, but it's not more important than these other things. But I want to get back to my Father's Day story. It came up because my own coaching clients have asked me, why are these moms calling themselves unschoolers when they're not? Sure, maybe their kids have some limited choices or they toss in a lot more playtime than you'd see in a typical school setting, but unschooling? Not really. Aren't the waters muddy enough? Why do they want to make it worse by calling it unschooling? And one of the reasons is because they're afraid to go all in. In my family, growing up, it was called holding on to the side of the pool. To move up to the next swimming class level, I had to swim the length of the pool without stopping. So my dad would walk along the edge of the pool while I swam. I could see his murky silhouette when I'd turn to take a breath. And after a few strokes, I'd take a hold of the side and I'd say, "Did you say something?" "No, keep swimming." A few more strokes would go by. Same thing. "What? I know you said something." I did not. Let go and keep swimming. Eventually, I'd build up my strength and confidence and be able to get to the end of the pool. But that scenario became the metaphor for whenever I was afraid to let go or wasn't trusting myself or the process. And my dad would look over at me and say, "Are you holding onto the side of the pool again?" Ah, yes, I probably was. It was familiar, safe. I hadn't put the time in to grow my confidence muscles. And that is what I think these moms that do curriculum, calling it unschooling, are doing. They're holding onto the side of the pool. My other analogy that you may have heard me say is the one about crossing the river. The school approach is on one side, and I'm over here on the other side, the unschooling side of the river, shouting, "It's okay. You can do it. Keep paddling." But there are a few cozy little islands on the way over there. And sometimes people pull their little rowboat up to those islands. Some people rest up and then get back in and keep going. Others open a few folding chairs and set up camp there and never get all the way across the river. Sure, it's better than the school side of the river, but not as good as it is over here on the unschooling side. Real freedom, real self determination, real confidence development. So I think about these moms who want to call what they're doing unschooling, and I think they're holding on to the side of the pool. I think they've made a little banner for their island and named it unschooling. It's going to be up to the next wave of kayakers or rowboaters to familiarize themselves with unschooling enough to look at what they're doing and not be fooled. Because people can call anything they want, any term they want. That doesn't mean we have to agree or even make them take down their sign. When I was reaching for the side of the pool, I wanted to rest. I wanted my dad to be talking to me instead of finishing that lap. And the same goes for a lot of people. They want those little islands to be unschooling. Then they wouldn't have to finish the journey. They could wrap it up right there. And you can, because part of the journey is kind of easy. And the rest of it is all the internal unpacking you have to do. Quieting the voices in your head that tell you to get back in line and stop being a slacker and do as you're told. All the voices we probably heard growing up and that we allow to live in our heads, barking at us whenever our stories don't match our realities. That's the harder part of the unschooling journey, dealing with all of that. And we do it because when we stop the cycle, we don't push our stories off on our own children. We protect them from those voices in our heads by dealing with them head on. I have a lot of tools to help you do this, to help you let go of the side of the pool and get to where the real benefits of unschooling are. And you can keep swimming and train yourself, or you can hop on a coaching call with me or join my membership group where I can show you how to let go of what isn't really serving you or your kids anymore. Maybe you have a great Father's Day memory, or maybe you don't. You can borrow mine. Let go of the side of the pool. Don't let fear prevent you from building the strength you and your kids need. And don't be distracted by those Pinterest-worthy unschoolers out there. Learn more about unschooling and deschooling so you can recognize what it is and what it isn't. I'll put resource links in the show notes, and I'd love to help you figure this out. So happy Father's Day weekend. Hug a dad. Enjoy some barbecue. And I'll be back to talk with you next week.